X-ray is that DLAM starts off with a bubble that no one ever saw. Visually, I don't see it, you don't see it. It could be somewhere in the corner here behind a piece of metal and slowly begins to grow over time. And all of a sudden, it pops out of the metal or pops out from behind the metal and it starts over here and somebody calls up and says, hey, I got a problem. But once you x-ray a piece of glass, it'll find every bubble imaginable. And if there's no bubbles, it's not delaminating. I haven't had one piece of DLAM glass from Cardinal Glass. But other companies have a lot. I haven't had one piece of, and Willie, you know stress cracks. Never had one piece of stress cracks, a stress crack from Cardinal Glass. Other people, it's part of their way of working. They deal with it. I like to minimize headaches because, again, I don't want to have to send a truck over here. If I'm going to send a truck, I like them to come by and say, hey, is everything okay? And you say, no, everything's fantastic. So that's what I would rather do. So,
and your paint, the warranty of the window itself, the part that you manufacture, was how long?
10 years.
Okay.
10 years.
Hardware?
Everything.
What about the balance rod?
10 years.
Okay.
Wow.
10 years. The paint, 10-year warranty from the mill. The mill is...
Who carries that warranty then, the paint? Which mill?
Sapa.
Okay.
Sapa is one of the largest extruders in the country, and they're based in Gainesville, Georgia. By far, again, by far, the best, I believe, extruder out there. They're a Swiss company.
They're Norwegian.
Norwegian company.
They're worldwide.
They're worldwide, but by far the best one out there. So you'll notice what we're doing here in everything, whether it's a window or a door, whether it's big or small, we minimize headaches because we don't want to have to come back. So our aluminum is right here out of Gainesville, Georgia. Again, as local as you can get. We don't have anybody strong and big enough in Florida to be able to produce what they do. Another thing that we do, design. Again, when you look at the window, you don't need me to tell you that it's obvious between the three products of which one has more aluminum. The one that has more aluminum is the one that's stronger. Not always, but in this case, yeah, it's the one that's stronger. Negative 140. The one that has more aluminum has more interlocking pieces. And what I mean by interlocking is when you raise my window, take a look at where it interlocks in the center. You'll see 1 inch of interlock where the operable panel interlocks into the fixed sash. So that's 1 inch. My competitors might have 1/4 of an inch. Again, strength. That's all I built for hurricanes. Not just the first hurricane that passes, and then I tell you, wow, that was great. But if the first hurricane passes, who knows what happens after the second and the third and the fourth hurricane. We want it to work every hurricane. Because remember, we all test for 1 hurricane. We don't test for 2 hurricanes. So, but our window is meant and is designed to last multiple hurricanes. And you can see it in the product. Another thing that we do is wool pile. You'll see our wool pile, and that's that white gasket, we'll call it. 1 here, 1 there, and then I'm going to point to it on this side, but 1 here and 1 here on the fixed rail. So you have multiple pieces of interlocking and multiple pieces of gaskets. Take a look at the competitor. They have 1. 1 going across, either it's on the sash that operates or on the meeting rail. I have 4. Same thing we do here. I'll have 2 wool piles under here, where my hand is, and then 2 of them right here. When this thing goes down, it's sealed. It seals today, it seals tomorrow.
Do we ever have to replace those? The piles of the gaskets?
The wool pile, I've never so far, no, I have not had to replace any wool pile as of yet.
If we did, are they replaceable?
They are replaceable.
Do you have those available?
We do. Yeah, we do. Again, that's another, that comes from Minnesota. It's one of the largest, ultra fab, I believe it's called. One of the largest, and we haven't had to replace it. Over time, yeah, you're gonna have to replace the wool pile. I remember as a kid, we used to go up and down A1A in a service truck, fixing glass and replacing wool pile. That's what we used to do. But we're talking about a 30-year-old window, right? So if it gives us all 30 years, God bless. That's pretty amazing. It's fantastic. But those are the features that you'll see. you'll see more aluminum, and I'll admit it. Other people say, well, you have too much aluminum in your window. Yeah. I made it to work. I made it to work during the first hurricane. I made it to work during the second hurricane, the third, the fourth, and the fifth. You know, I can make a pretty window. I can make it as delicate as possible, but what good is that going to do when you don't evacuate and you have a Category 5 coming, or when you're requiring the product to do what it's supposed to do? The paperwork says it's supposed to do what it's supposed to do. What good is it if it doesn't do what it's supposed to do? So we manufacture for strength. Now, questions. I know I probably took more than 15 minutes, but.